Well, I think it's finally time to get Bigger Bertha here and process her before she rots. Hopefully she's not rotting on the inside. There's a few spots. This is our biggest pumpkin squash, whatever it is, of the season. I'm not even going to attempt to set this upright or probably cut it really on camera because I'm going to have to probably chop it at the neck first. It's probably going to have a lot of drippings on the table, but that's okay. That's to be expected. Maybe I'll put it in a pan or something. I have no idea how many cups of puree we're going to make with this. But this, I guess, is about as orange as it's going to turn. And we have an idea that this is a cross between a Seminole pumpkin and a trombone squash or trombone zucchini. It's got kind of the green veins and the orange there. Check that out. Boy, if you could smell how sweet that smelled, that's just the tip here. And that was a pain to cut. I had to kind of take some of the weight off of it, just like a tree. You don't want it to kind of bind. But wow, see how it's kind of sweating out? If you could smell how sweet that smells, woo-wee. So in the oven, 350 for 1 hour. So while we're waiting for that to finish cooking, I've cut another big section here. I'm going to have to cut it inside here, but check out, there's the hollow there. So we've cut a few more pieces off here. So every 60 minutes we basically rotate another pan, and when we pull the other one out, we're going to let it cool for a while, and there's the 1 minute timer saying we got 1 minute left on it. All right, back in the pan again, and this is the hot pieces that came out the top of the neck, and we got to let it cool for a while before we can put it in the food processor. So we have to basically take the skin off and see what it looks like. It's kind of thick, so hopefully it cooked all the way through. Pureed the stuff. And I'm making a pizza dough, and I will be making a pumpkin cinnamon bun dough as well. So there is about 2 cups. I think I'm going to put 4 to 6 in here. We're going to see how much we can do in this bag. So that is in the range of 6 cups. So if you require 1 cup for your recipe, you got 6 servings. If you require 2 cups, it's 3 servings. Alright, there goes a pizza in for the kids. Alright, we got a mess here for making that pizza dough, but we're going to roll out another dough, so I'm not too worried about cleaning it up until we're done. So I'm attempting to make some pumpkin with pumpkin spice cinnamon buns, kind of similar to the earlier recipe, but we are actually using about half the starter, and we're going to put some pumpkin puree in here once the yeast starts. So tablespoon yeast, tablespoon sugar, half a cup of water, and we'll put some puree in here, which has its own, I guess, a little bit of sugar in it as well. It's kind of sweet. Pumpkin puree is kind of watery, but it's not 100% water, so we don't know the exact ratio, that we're going to, put flour to water in. Well, that's awful yellow, so I got it mixed now to about 1.5 cups. And I put about 1 3/4 cups of flour instead of 2. So let's just see what the consistency is. So we put about 1 teaspoon of pumpkin spice in there. All right, mix it up. Mix the dry ingredients up well, because when it gets wet, it's not going to allow you to mix it very much. And of course, a tablespoon of olive oil we mixed in this yellow mixture here. They pour it in there.
I didn't get to do
yeah, it's going to probably mix within about 30 seconds. Alright, so it's a little bit wetter than I thought.
I can't mix it fast because it's like that.
Turn yellow just like the pumpkin or squash. And we're going to let it rise. Oh my gosh, we used the whole can of sauce this time. And it just changes the flavor profile tremendously. Still kind of the same issue we had with the pineapple pizza, with too much moisture kind of making the crust a little wet. But wow, so much sweeter. It makes it taste more deep dish, even though it's not a deep dish pizza. So it rose pretty good, but it's definitely wet and jiggly looking. I'm gonna spread flour all over it. More flour all over the table here. And I have a feeling it's gonna need quite a bit. That's what it looks like. And we're going to roll it out and stuff. Probably not on camera because we've done this before. Till if we perfect this recipe, we'll do a good video here. but I did taste it just a little bit, and it is really sweet, even without much or any sugar added, you know, except to start the yeast. Since we don't have a dough roller, we're going to use our iron flask here to roll the dough. That took a lot of flouring to get it to not stick when we get it, you know, in a thin layer here. So probably not the best thing to use the puree in your calculations of flour. You probably have to add more flour to the mix. We've been using regular sugar and cinnamon, but I think I'm going to try filling it with light brown sugar and cinnamon. Of course, we put a little layer of butter on here to hopefully try to make everything stick. There's the brown sugar, and we're going to try to make sure we get a lot of cinnamon. It needs to be like evenly coated here. Got like a 10-inch or so pan. Just gonna put butter all over it. Can't do this. Now we're gonna coat it with a good helping of brown sugar. Maybe a little bit more than that. Kind of maybe push that in a little bit. Don't have to be perfect. That's better. All right, butter. So nice little chunk of butter here. So the butter and the brown sugar is gonna really make the bottom moist.
Daddy, I like that smell.
And this is a vegan or vegetarian butter that we're using. So time to roll it up. And this is always a tricky part. Right, look at there. We got it without breaking it. All right, Charlie Chuckles helped, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was fun?
Uh-huh.
Now we have to let it rise for like 20 or 30 minutes, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, there they are. They got a little yellow tinge to them, or tint, and they are risen. Now we're going to put them in the oven, 350 degrees. There they go. All right, we got even more ready to cook here. And this is how much we got left. Probably at least 2 more hours of cooking after this, so 3+ hours. We turn them around. Look at that. Oh, they smell so good. Well, it's about 10 p.m. and I'm going to try to just cook all this at once. This normally would probably be 2 different hours cutting that in half and chunking it out, but it'll fit in the pan like that as long as it'll fit in the oven, you know, without moving racks around. We're going to just cook this, and hopefully this will be our last hour of cooking. So we ended up getting about 9 bags, big bags, between 6 and maybe 8.5 or 9 cups in each one, just on that single pumpkin. And here are the seeds that were soaking a little bit. So there were a whole lot of immature seeds on this squash. And I think there's probably going to be less seeds as well, less mature seeds than that we harvested from our other squash, which is about 20 pounds lighter, I'm assuming. The good news is that they came out really easily. There's not a whole lot of flesh attached to them, so we may only just ferment them for, 24, 36 hours and then dry them, because we had to do it about 3 days with a lot of water changes last time, maybe longer than that. There's an immature seed there. Just got in there, but yeah, we'll just change out the water a couple times in that 24 to 36 hour period and then dry them off, and then that'll be that. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.